he won't try to do nothing. He won't try to do nothing, and then that's up to you if you stay with him. That's my take on it. All right, anybody else got anything on that? Okay, so moving on to the next questions. Now, I got this question. Oh, my God. I had one lady call me early in the morning, and she was going through this, y'all. She was going through this. And she said she was actually going through sexual frustration. That's what she was going through. So she asked me, what did she need to do about it? You know, she's saved. She said, I've been praying, and I've been praying all day, and I still got this urge that I want them bad. I want them. So what do y'all think about that? And she's saved. So should single women, single saved women be having sex, and how do they resist temptation?
Pray.
That's
the PG question. That's the PG answer. But we're going to be real about this thing.
Be real.
We're going to be real about it. You do that.
Okay.
We do that. We pray about it. We talk to God. We have long discussions because we're still human and whatnot.
Yes.
But the thing that you need to do, the thing that's been very beneficial for me, is I find things to fill my time. When them urges hit, I get up and go find something that I'm interested in doing, something that makes me happy, whether it's going out to the movies or working on, like, my goals for the future. I take my mind out of that situation of what it is that will make you go bonkers, because you really ain't supposed to be doing that. And if you do, it creates more problems than it does solutions. I can honestly tie every stupid, jacked up decision that I have ever made in my life to that. So with that thought process, like, I'm not making no more stupid decisions based on my hormones going crazy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find me something else to do and fill that time, and then that passes.
It will. And you know, she was so, I felt so sorry for her, because she was like, Jamie, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I was like, girl, go find you something to do. Go find something, like you said, Tanya, to feed your mind with. And if necessary, go back and submit yourself to God to resist that temptation. Because I'm going to tell you something, that is a real feeling, and that's something that people do not talk about. They talk about being single and saved, but they don't talk about how these urges are real. You may wake up and have an urge. You may be going throughout the day, and all of a sudden, you know, you get around a certain person or something triggers you into that number, Satan, though. Satan fills your mind with it. And all of a sudden, you want to do these things, but I'm glad that she called me, and she was like, Jamie, I need help. And just like I'm telling anybody else, if you want to save yourself some trouble, you better wait before you have sex, because sex is trouble. When you start having sex, you start entering into his mind, and he's entering into yours. And if you're not careful, those soul ties in there will eat you up alive. They will eat you up so bad you become depressed. And once you get one taste of it, you know, you're just going to keep going back and going back. So it's best not to even put yourself through that type of situation, stressful situation like that. But basically, you have to submit yourself to God in order to resist that temptation. And once you do that, because you will be tempted, but you don't have to act on it. You do not have to put any action to that at all. It reminds me of Jesus being in the wilderness where Satan was like, you know, turn the stone to bread. Go ahead and eat. You know you're hungry. You know, that's how Satan will get in our heads. Hey, look at him. He fine. You know, he packed and going to get that girl. Ooh. And then we'll have the little friends that will come along who's supposed to be our friends, helping us and encouraging us in the Lord and saying, go ahead and get it, girl. I hear you, stuff like that. You have to be careful of things like that because once you open up that door, it's hard to close Pandora's box. It's hard to close that door once it becomes open, and it messes with your mind, it messes with your physical health, your mental health, your emotional, and your spirituality as well. Now, I did remind her, now I'm going to say this too. Now, we are human, and like I told her, I said, I can't tell you what to do, but I will tell you this. We do all fall short of God's glory every day. But if we could get ourselves to a position where when we feel like prayer ain't working, that we go find something else to do that is spiritual that can help us, where we can start speaking positive over our life, that will help. Because some people, they just can't help what they love to do. And, hearing her, I felt so sorry for her, bless her heart. I felt so sorry for her. But, that temptation is there. You just have to resist it. Anybody else got another comment on that?
Yes, I was listening to a minister, and he made it so clear to me. It was a series called Relationship Goals, and the minister, I cannot remember his name, but he is a minister of Elevation Church. I think that's the right name. But the way that he explained that whole having sex thing with somebody when you are not married to them is that before the marriage ceremony was created the way that it is now with the minister and family and friends and all of that around, when God created Adam and Eve, there wasn't a minister. Mm-hmm. So how they were able to make that bond and tie that bond as husband and wife was they actually had intercourse. So every time a single person has sex with somebody, they are actually entering into a marriage covenant. And when you have multiple partners, you're into a covenant with each person that you sleep with. So when the person that you're supposed to be married to, you've created all these marital bonds with all these different people. Where is there room for him?
Giving me that look.
That's so right. Because that's a sacred thing. That's an intimate thing. That you want to keep personal. You just don't want to give your body away like that and then go through all the trouble afterwards. I mean, it's so easy, like I was telling her, I said it's so easy to get out here and get 15 minutes worth of sex or 2 hours worth or a day's worth of sex. But then you have 2 years of depression behind it. 5 years of depression behind it. And I see this all the time in my inbox. I see young ladies who meet these guys, and I mean, these are young ladies. They're like 22 and 23 years old because I talk to all age groups. These young ladies, they meet guys, and their self-esteem is so low that they don't even require the guys to come to them. They travel hundreds of miles just to see these guys who won't even come to them, and give their body up. And then when they come back home, they're in my inbox saying, I don't think he really likes me. When will he call? And, the anxiety and insecurities are off the chain. It's like sometimes I have to sit with them for hours just to get them calmed down. And I think that's the risk that you are running whenever you allow yourself to go out here and just have sex just because you can do it or just because you got an urge to do it. And like Tanya said, you are entwining with multiple bodies, multiple spirits. Let me get that correct. Multiple spirits whenever you let people come in and out of you like that. So you got to be very careful and try not to fall into temptation, because the temptation is great and it's out there, and we have all faced it It's just a matter of, trusting God more than you do that desire to have sex. All right. Anything else on that? Okay. So now we've talked all about what the ladies wanting to talk about, but I was talking with a guy, and he was telling me something about the reason why he doesn't really date like that is because he loses interest in women. So I want to know from y'all ladies, what are some real reasons men lose interest? I mean, we always talk about us, but, what if we have characteristics and flaws about us that make them not attracted to us anymore? I mean, they may be attracted to us, but they may lose interest in us.
Well, in talking with a male friend of mine, he really is very open and honest about certain things. And one of the things that he shared, because we had this conversation just recently, he said that men want to feel needed by the woman that's in their lives. They want a damsel in distress in the aspect of they want to feel needed, but they don't want somebody that is always like in a state of constant panic and they can't do anything for themselves. So they don't really want a needy and clingy woman.
Yes. That is one of the things that this guy was telling me too. He said that he really was attracted to the woman, but the problem was she was so dependent on him that he could not even go anywhere and, just take a breather without her, feeling like, hey, if you hurry up and get here, this is going to happen or that's going to happen. She became dependent on him. And he said that he loved her so much, but he was attracted to her, but it was just too much for him, the neediness. And most of the time when you find women like that, they're looking for a guy to fulfill them, to lead them to their purpose and stuff, and that puts pressure on a man. I mean, come on, ladies. For real, that does. And when you act needy all the time, that really, I mean, to me, I'm going to tell you, I tried that needy mess, and it gave me a headache. It gave me a headache. I said, so this is how women act to get their way? I said, I can't do all that. I mean, it was just, it irritated me. But some women are like that. They need a man to do everything for them. They need to call them every 5 minutes. I see this a lot too, where they're calling and they're texting every 5 minutes. When you go from point A to point B, you got to keep in contact. I mean, that neediness mess is just too much, and sometimes it causes a man to lose interest. Another thing too, what would make a man lose interest in a woman is insecurities. A lot of women have insecurities, and that is an attraction killer right there. When women don't, come, like as Tanya was talking about in the beginning, as whole and knowing who they are, when they don't come knowing who they are, it kind of makes men shy away from them because nobody wants to raise another little girl. I mean, that's the same way we look at guys. We look at guys and say, we don't want to raise another little boy. And we got children. We don't want another child. We want a man. And so that's how they look at women, too. I don't want a little girl. I want a woman. I want a woman that can stand even if I'm not there with her. She still know what to do. And we see a lot of women now who do not know what to do without men. It's a lot of independent women, too, but it's some that are still just so dependent and clingy until, they don't have any confidence at all. No confidence at all. Anybody else got anything to say about that? Okay. Let me see if I had another question on here. Oh, this one here. How do you respond to a man